In this video, I'll share 3 pro tips that will set you apart and prepare you for any gig as a sound engineer. Whether you're mixing for a band, running sound for an event, or stepping into a multi-act lineup, these tips will help you avoid disaster and stand out as a true professional. Trust me, preparation is the difference between hoping for the best and delivering your best. I'm E with Mixing Pixels, where we teach audio through video. Are you ready to go from sound enthusiast to gig ready pro? Let's dive in. We've all been in that situation where we've been hired to do sound, whether it's for a band at a venue or an event with multiple acts. Far too often, sound engineers just show up to the gig, cross their fingers, and hope for the best. That approach isn't just unprofessional, it's a recipe for disaster. But don't worry, I got you covered. Here are 3 pro tips that will not only help you avoid those blind spots, but will set you apart as a prepared and reliable sound engineer. And stick around to the end. I'll share a bonus tip that I personally find incredibly useful to keep everything running smoothly. Let's get started. Tip 1, the communication. It's always a good idea to contact the band, the venue, the event planners to get as much information as you can about the gig. Here's the information I would try to get. What PA will be used? That way you'll know if you know the brand, if you've used them in the past, and you know what to expect. If the PA is passive, active, if there is a crossover, if the mixer will do the crossover, if matrices are needed, if you need to send the mix to another room, and so on. What sound desk or mixer will be used? This will help you prepared, but more on that on my next tip. How many bands will play? Whether you'll be doing sound for 1 band or 10 bands, find out what instruments are in each band. How many guitars? How many voices? How many toms will the drummer be using? Are they using amps? And so on. At what time is setup? At what time are you expected to be ready for bands? At what time will the event start and finish? Timings are very important. Will the band want the show recorded? Maybe on a USB stick or multitracks. It's also a great idea to ask about your fees. Agree on a price and then ask when you will get paid. Is it the same day? Is it the next day? Next week? One idea is to ask for a percentage of the fee to secure the date, and then the rest on the day or the following days. But this is a discussion for another time. Tip 2, the show file. This only applies if the sound mixer that will be used is digital. Some shows still happen on analog mixers. If this is the case, then the more reason to take into consideration tip number 1, communication. But if it's digital, you can save a lot of time by coming prepared with a show file that covers most of the needs of the show and of the bands that you will work with. What is a show file, you ask? A show file is a digital footprint, a map, or a representation of your inputs, outputs, name of channels, how they are arranged, EQs, dynamics, and so on. And you can build it at home from your own computer. You don't need to be close or even have the mixer. If you communicate well, like it was explained in tip number 1, you will have an idea of what the band needs, how many mics, what instruments are used, and all that will help you build the show file. You can bring this file to the show on a USB memory, load it to the mixer, and save you lots of time. Being quick and efficient in this business is well rewarded. I know there are gigs where you don't know what mixer will be used until you get to the show or to the venue. Say you have a show on Friday night, and when you get there, the mixer that will be used is an Allen & Heath SQ5, and you don't have a show file for this. Here's a small but mighty extra tip that helped me save time and effort over the years. Always have with you a USB memory, so that whatever you do on that day on that mixer, you can save it. That way, next time you get hired for a gig and they're used in this particular mixer, you have a show file to start from instead of starting from scratch. Tip 3, the trick pack. There are essential things that you need to have with you when going to a gig. You cannot show up without having anything and hope that every piece of gear will work properly. You need to be prepared. Even if all the gear behaves and works properly, you still need to name things, tie cables, run stage boxes, and so on. So here's what I would personally have in the trick bag. I am sure I'm forgetting something, so if I did, leave us a comment below. Sharpies or waterproof markers. Trust me, you'll use them. Tape of different colors. If it is fluorescent, even better. It will help you mark things on stage. Gaffer tape. At least one roll. Electrical tape. It has many uses, from connections to binding XLR cables together. Tip: make sure it is not the sticky kind that leaves all your cables all sticky. Headphones or in-ears. To test in-ear mixes and the main mix. Computer with measuring software, such as SMART or REW. Measuring microphones. XLR cables for measuring mics. iPad or tablet if you can connect wirelessly to the mixer. This allows you to walk the room and to check lines from the stage. A cable tester. Your own microphone to use as talkback. There is nothing worse than using some smelly, beat up mic from someone else. And sometimes the capsule is broken, leaving some sharp ends that could easily cut your lip in a second. Yes, this has happened to me. A decibel meter or a dB meter, so that you can keep track of how loud the show is and follow the rules of the venue. Now, the following are not essential, but they are things that I add to my trick bag, and you can too if you want to. An extra set of generic in-ears. Yes, someone always forget theirs, and if I don't want to put a wedge or a floor monitor, or if they're playing with click and tracks, this could save the gig. Drum key. Drummers always forget or lose theirs. And for the sake of well-tuned drums, you should always have at least one with you. And consider it gone after you give it to the drummer. Those things grow legs. Moon gels or some kind of drum dampeners. Tip: some stores sell these sticky hands at a very cheap price, and they work wonderfully as drum dampeners. Guitar tuner. A clip-on tuner. Guitar strings. You would be surprised how many times I saved a guitar player's life for having some extra strings. Guitar picks in different gauges. Capo. Strong mints or some minted chewing gum. You will be speaking to people very close to their face and to their ears. Having fresh breath is always a plus. Also, if someone else has bad breath and they're constantly talking to you, you can always inconspicuously offer them a mint. You might be wondering why I add these things to my trick bag. The guitar player should have his things. The drummer should have his things. I don't really need to, but I encourage you to have them. The reason behind is that these little things help you separate you from the rest of the engineers, making you someone who goes the extra mile to make the gig a great experience. It shows how well prepared you are, and people remember these things when hiring. That guy not only does amazing sound, he's prepared for war. He always has something extra in his bag. He saved me from playing a show without in-ears. These things make you stand out, which in turn can translate into more gigs and more income for you. So there you go. These were the 3 tips that will get you gig ready as a sound engineer. But wait a second. You're still here? You're still watching? If you are, here's my bonus tip for staying until now. This is something that I found incredibly useful to keep everything running smoothly, even before you step foot in the venue. The audio planner. You can have this printed and or on your phone. I recommend to have at least 2 printed copies so that if you have helpers on the day, they can use them. The audio planner is a detailed list of inputs, outputs, channel names, in-ear mixes, microphones to be used, DIs needed, what channels need 40 AV, phantom power, matrices, and any other piece of info that you can go back to when connecting cables, in-ear systems, and so on. Actually, If you want our free audio planner template, the one you saw on screen, click on the link in the description box. Now, if I could summarize this video into a few words, they will be this. Preparation is the difference between hoping for the best and delivering your best. This will pay off and help you keep calm and steady when things go wrong. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so that you always know when we post new videos. And remember, great sound is always within your reach.